Mark Simone, WOR radio show host, 2023 Radio Hall of Fame nominee. Jon Levine, New York Post political reporter. And Jackie DeAngelis, co-host of the Big Money Show right here on Fox Business, really my favorite show. Thank you, everyone, for doing this. I'll start with you, Mark. This guy Schwerin's coming. They're going to tee him up. What's so interesting, by the way, these guys are all in the outs with Hunter Biden. This is a real bad strategy by Hunter Biden. Best friends forever, feeling jilted, going before Congress. This couldn't be worse. Now, he's going to spill a lot more beans. What do you think's coming?
Oh, it could be worse, and it will get worse in the coming weeks. All of you in the media, all of you Democrats, you're going to have to get your head around this.
Yes.
He's guilty. He's lied every single step of the way. You remember originally he said he didn't know that his son was on the board of Prisma? That was a lie. He never discussed his son's business. There's no father in the world who hasn't discussed his son's business with him. Every step of the way he lied. Why else would he do it? If you were innocent, you could clear this up in a couple hours. Just show up with your business records, agree to testify, reveal everything you've given. You know, the guys that gave him the money are the shrewdest gangsters on earth. They wouldn't pay you unless they were getting something for it. And they paid repeatedly. They wouldn't keep doing it if they weren't getting something.
Jackie, that's, well, I forgot. What is the family, what product?
It's a good question.
They're getting money. I mean, $30 million in that game is, I wouldn't say it was fabulous money, but it isn't bad. We would take the $30 million. But what's the product? What's the service?
The service is influence, possibly protection. You've got the actual instance where Biden was vice president and he had the Ukrainian prosecutor removed because he threatened that he was going to withhold aid. But every time we see them get more bank records, Larry, they are going to prove what these whistleblowers are saying. And that's what the important part of this is. You can say that the BFFs are coming forward because they're jilted and you can't believe them, but the bank records don't lie. The thing I'm a little bit torn on here is whether or not, you know, they were very smart when they did this. A lot of this money going into these LLCs. The paper trail is there, but can you prove, or does the LLC protect them, right? Because it wasn't going to their personal accounts. In this one instance, Hunter Biden used $142,000 to go buy a Porsche. He then used that Porsche to go on a bender in Las Vegas with prostitutes while he was smoking crack. So the family business certainly wasn't advising these companies in any, way about their business.
I'm just sitting here cringing as you go through this thing. I know you're right. I'm just saying, oh, my God, lay out the facts. You're a very good reporter. Jon Levine, I think the bank records are undeniable proof. Now, I don't know if these are a crime yet. I do know the ethical problems are massive. And, John, just one other point. This is my editorial. I think as the public becomes aware of this, they turn more and more against Joe Biden.
Well, that's the key thing is there's that old expression in D.C., the cover-up is worse than the crime.
Right.
I mean, no one at this table can really say definitively, here is the specific crime Joe Biden committed. But we can say, I think, quite clearly, definitively now, is that he lied when he said he was never involved with his son's overseas business. That was a lie. When he additionally said his son never made any money in these countries, that was also a lie. And he lied when he said it was Russian disinformation, because he knew it wasn't. These are going to be core credibility issues that he has to confront in the 2024 presidential race. And I don't know what he's going to say when Donald Trump or whoever the Republican nominee is up there and says, why did you lie to the American people? You knew it wasn't true. You knew he was taking in this money. You lied. And his, it's so much a part of Biden's brand is credibility, and he's going to tell you the truth. He's just, aw shucks, Amtrak Joe. It's so devastating.
Just a quick follow-up on this point, because it's a really important point. He is going to be asked by Trump or whoever is the nominee, what did you do with that money?
Right.
All right. What does he say? I mean, don't you think that's an important question?
The media cannot protect him.
Whether it's a crime or just bad ethics, okay, or both, okay? Jackie, what's he going to say? You got $30 million, all your family members. What was this money used for?
It's a great question. I don't know how to answer it because I'm actually not a good liar, but they are very good liars on the left. His administration, his staff, I'm sure he'll come up with something. But at the end of the day, we've got the clips. of him saying, I didn't know about it, I didn't discuss it, I didn't anything. And we've got the bank records that tell a completely different story. So what the House members need to do...
Those bank records are very important.
Yes,
aren't they?
and
because that's what I would call hard evidence.
Correct.
Okay.
And that will be the only thing that will fly in the face of what the left is saying to try to debunk all of this testimony. You know, if we can talk about the impeachment inquiry that Kevin McCarthy is talking about a little, I think that's really important here, because even if there wasn't necessarily a crime as defined by the law, this ethical issue is a huge issue. You do not get up on a podium and lie to the American people, the people that you are trying to serve, repeatedly over and over again. So they wanted to go after Trump for every little thing that came out of his mouth. I think the standards should be the same.
Mark, you have a strong interest in the weather.
Yeah.
Right? And Kazakhstan, Romania, Moscow, China. That's what Joe is saying. I mean, actually, his supporters are saying they were talking about the weather at the other, these phone 2020.
Well, actually, that is why I got on the phone, to see whether or not they had the money. We're going to pay it.
And the Weather Channel. And I thought he was going to spill it. For years, I've had a tremendous meteorological interest in East European weather. But Mark, instead, he went and attacked fossil fuels. No more drilling. So this is Bidenomics equals destroying our energy. This is a sub-theme. It has nothing to do, I think, with Burisma. But the reality is this is part of his problem, his political problem and his economic problem. This war against fossil fuels has completely backfired against him.
Yeah, and this Bidenomics tour, this is where you see how really corrupt the media is. When they thought Trump told the slightest lie, they were all over it. He's doing a Bidenomics tour about how well this is going.
Right.
You can rattle off the numbers. It's a disaster, and the media lets him get away with this lie.
And did you see the Weather Channel thing? I mean, one of my senior producers showed me, if you look on the website, it's not at the top of the website. It's like at the bottom of the website. They weren't even quoting him on the website. I mean, that's how ridiculous this is, Jon Levine.
The whole thing is
Ace Reporter,
see no
New York
evil,
Post.
hear no evil.
What is this?
I think it's almost time for another Trump indictment.
Right.
I think that's where this...
Oh, golly, gee.
I'll tell you right now, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but I have a hunch. You know what, something else that's not spoken about enough? During the period that he was making all this money, he was an active crack addict and alcoholic. Have you ever been to Penn Station? I see a lot of those people in Penn Station. They're not making $20 million from the Ukraine or Russia or China or these foreign oligarchs. There's no conceivable way someone in the state Hunter Biden was in. I can tell you, I read his autobiography, Beautiful Things. He talks about being so addicted he was snorting Parmesan cheese off of the floor because he thought it was crack cocaine or regular cocaine. This was a deeply disturbed individual at that time. It is beyond belief. It is ludicrous that he would have any justifiable reason to make this money, except if he was selling access. It is the only product he had that was worth it.
And Jackie, honest question. Everyone's going to ask this question. This money came in. We know it came in. We know the accounts. The only Biden that didn't get any money was the Ozark grandchild, but that's still open for business. Did the money get to Joe?
That's the big question.
That's going to be a big question.
And they've got to either find something direct, which they probably won't. I think they covered their tracks pretty well here. But they've got to find a way that he benefited from this money, whether it was used to pay bills for him. Hunter Biden made that statement that he was paying for him and he was kind of sick of it, that kind of thing. If they can make draw a relationship between the funds and some sort of benefit that the president himself received. And I just want to make one point back to the Weather Channel and all this. You sit back and you ask yourself why he's selling America down the river with respect to energy and making sure that Ukraine and Russia and China are benefiting from it. And you scratch your head and say, he was supposed to care about us. Why is he doing this? I have to question if this isn't somehow all related, if he doesn't owe people favors.
No, I didn't harp on it in my riff, but at the end, that was the point I was making. It so happens that all these countries who were giving him money are fossil fuel energy producers.
Exactly.
It may be a coincidence, but I don't know.
Could be.
What does it do to our national security? I mean, for $30 million, now we may discover it's a bigger bribe scheme than that. But the point is, they're all fossil fuel makers. This guy's allegedly against fossil fuels, and that's what he tells the Weather Channel. He's just selling his country. What did you say? Selling this country?
Selling America down the river.
There you go. I think she nailed it. Seriously. This is like America last. I mean, I can think of a candidate who would prefer America first, but this is America last. For what? For wristwatches? For a fancy car? What did he get out of this?
Well, it was $30 million.
$30 million. And that game's nothing.
And it says right in the laptop, Hunter says in writing, I give half my money to
father.
Right.
Right. So it's going to go into him. He can't avoid it.
No, absolutely not.
And that's before, we don't know about the bribery scheme yet. We've got to find the audio tapes and more on that. But these bank records, I mean, Jamie Comer is a very smart man to do it this way. This is better than impeachment. It's better than impeachment. Good, solid investigation. Here, I want to finish with my reporter. You investigate factoids. Isn't that what Jamie Comer's doing?
Yeah, I mean, I have to tell you, a lot of the stuff Chairman Comer has put out, we already knew at the New York Post. It's been reported by the New York Post. We've been covering the payments from these countries for years. We've seen the evidence in the laptop. We obviously didn't have the bank records that Comer has access to, so I'm very glad to see our reporting borne out by the very hard evidence. But this is old news to regular Post readers.
You're right. I was with Miranda Devine last night at the Fox board dinner, and I said, Miranda, you deserve a Pulitzer Prize. And she was horrified because she said the Pulitzer Prize is so degraded it would ruin her reputation. So I thought, she's a brilliant woman, a wonderful woman. Anyway, you are all fabulous. Jon Levine, Mark Simone, Jackie DeAngelis. Can't thank you enough, honestly. All right, folks, much more. Remember, you can catch Jackie with her co-host Taylor Riggs and Brian Brenberg on The Big Money Show, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. I'm not kidding. It's my favorite show.